Welcome to the Master Passive Income Show. My name is Dustin Heiner, and I'm here to help you quit that JOB, that just over broke job, become financially independent, live the dream life because you invest in real estate and have passive income coming in. And today, I am super pumped to bring on a fantastic real estate investor. And actually, I was on her podcast, and I am bringing it to you because she and I did so much, we talked so much about real estate that I wanted to share it with you because there's so much great information you need to have for your real estate investing to become successfully unemployed. All right, let's start the show.
Welcome to the Master Passive Income Podcast, where we talk about investing in real estate with a special focus on making enough money so you can quit your job and live the dream life. And now, here is your host, Dustin Heiner.
Hey, what's going on? Oh my goodness, it is actually just like 2 weeks away from RubeCon. I'm just kind of, there's so much work to do. It's so crazy how much work there is to do. I just want to go back to real estate investing almost. It just feels like, real estate investing is so easy. And in fact, I asked my wife, or not ask, I kind of just jokingly said, man, real estate investing is so much easier than conferences. Conferences are so much work. And she goes, yeah, if you didn't do that though, you'd be bored. You would just want to do something else. Honey, you're right. Because I'm a builder. I love building things. I love creating things. And at the same time, getting people alongside me to actively be a part of this. In fact, that's what's so great. RubeCon, the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference, and Master Passive Income, just because of literally helping people and serving people. I've got at least a dozen volunteers for RubeCon that say, hey, we're paying for a ticket, but we still want to serve. We still want to help. We want to be a part of RubeCon. I said, that is fantastic. Absolutely. Please do. And on top of that, you guys know that I brought on my students who are fantastically successful in their own real estate investing. They're now coaching students one-on-one. Honestly, I don't have the time to do the one-on-one coaching anymore, but we still have one-on-one coaching. A lot of people, when I mentioned on the podcast that I'm going to stop doing one-on-one coaching, it was just me not doing the one-on-one coaching. We're still doing the one-on-one coaching. In fact, I have Charles and William. I'm hopefully bringing on a third coach because we have so many real estate investors that want to invest, that need coaching because the podcast is doing so well because of you guys. And I love that you share it out with somebody. I've had so many people share this with other people and say, hey, you need to learn how to invest in real estate. Here's a fantastic resource that's literally going to help you. So I appreciate it. And if you haven't, definitely, I would appreciate it. Just share with one person about the podcast and how changing your life with the real estate investing, it's not that difficult. In fact, everyday people, regular people, just like me and you, can do this. If you listen to the episode just before this, I interviewed one of my students, Jason Roberts. He actually, in 2 months, bought 2 rental properties and is making a ton of money in passive income. We go through all that, but you can too. And on top of that, I want to see you at RubeCon. It's in 2 weeks. I need you to be ready for this amazing time to invest in real estate. And here's a quote that I need you to remember. Well, it's almost like a proverb. When is the best time to plant a tree? Well, it was 20 years ago. The next best time is literally today. I would hate it if in 20 years from now, you look back and said, you know what, I was listening to Master Passive Income and Dustin Heiner kept talking about real estate investing and I never pulled the trigger. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago. Just like you might be thinking, oh man, this yard's kind of bare. I should have planted a tree 20 years ago. Well, the next best time is literally today. You don't want to be thinking 20 years from now, I wish I would have started. You want to be thinking, thank the Lord that I actually started investing 20 years ago, bought one property, 1 year, next property bought 2 years, next property bought 3 years. Let's say in 10 years, you have 15, 20, 30 properties. And if you have one property making you $250 a month in passive income, that's $3,000 a year. Can you believe that? And then 10 properties, it's just simple math. 10 properties at $250 a month is $2,500 a month in passive income. That's without working. $30,000 a year in passive income. 20 properties is $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year without even working. And that's just the bare minimum. I have properties making me $500, $600, $700, and $800 a month in passive income. Your money just keeps coming in passively. And here's a quick side note. With inflation, prices of everything goes up, but guess what else goes up? My rents go up just because the market goes up. I keep in pace with inflation. I might even make more money than inflation. And I want you to do that. Plant that tree today. Get my free course. Text the word rental, RENTAL, to 33777. Rental to 33777. And if you have not gotten your pass to Rubicon, it's in 2 weeks. I want to see you there. And in fact, every single year, we're going to be putting on Rubicon. And you can always use this promo code. Use a promo code podcast. I will know that you came from the podcast every single year. Use that same promo code to get 10% off. Go to Rubicon.com and get 10% off of your pass. All right, let's jump in today's show where I am on my friend's podcast. It's a fantastic podcast. It helps everybody to invest in real estate and play Monopoly, become multifamily apartment complex investors. I have my friend Pili Yarusi on the show with me today. All right, here we go.
Aloha, everyone, and welcome back to Multifamily Live. I have a treat for us today. If you've noticed, for our podcast, we haven't really been doing many interviews lately. So I'm going to start bringing them back. And for our first interview, I want to bring back a dear, blessed friend of mine. His name is Dustin Heiner. Welcome back to the show, Dustin.
Aloha, Pili. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Super excited to have you on here. We had you on last year just before your amazing conference called Rubicon. It was one of the first times we had met. It was an excellent show. If you all want to listen to it, go back to last year, look up Dustin, and it was an excellent show. And this is all about catching up. So Dustin, I want you to refresh my listeners and my viewers. Who are you and what do you do?
Yeah. So, well, number one, I am definitely an investor. I invest in real estate. In fact, when I was 37 years old, I was blessed to be able to quit my job. And I love the term being successfully unemployed. Basically found a way to make money to provide for myself and my family without working that JOB is what I call it, the just over broke job. And with that, I started investing back in 2006. That was before the crash. I started buying rental properties, residential 4 units and below for cash flow. Now, the great thing about doing for cash flow was because I was not going for appreciation. And in 2006, all the quote unquote gurus were telling you and telling me, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying to learn from anybody. They were saying, get passive income of $25 or $50 a month, but you'll get appreciation and you'll be so happy about that. But then we know in the crash, everything tanked. It was horrible. And so everybody was going bankrupt. But I knew that I wanted to be able to become successfully unemployed. I wanted to stop working for somebody else. And here's a big reason why. I shared this on your show last year, but I got laid off. I'll give the punchline. I got laid off from my job and I was working there 15 plus years. And then I realized, oh my goodness, anybody at any time could take away my ability to feed my family. And with that, I said, I need to make sure this never happens to me again. So I started buying property after property because I knew I wanted passive income because I wanted to be able to feed my family. Getting back to the appreciation, I didn't invest for appreciation. And I also knew the longer I hold this property, the more I'll make money. And then I realized, oh my goodness, I could literally give these properties to my kids. And this is creating generational wealth so that they will have this in the future. Plus, I'm teaching them how to actually invest. In fact, I'm really blessed. My kids literally asked me, it was like last week, hey, Daddy, with all of our savings, you have Rubicon coming up and it's going to be a great time to invest in real estate in the next year or 2 years. You've been saying that all along. Can you help us to buy our first property? I'm like, yes, absolutely, I can. And so with investing for not appreciation, but cash flow, I eventually had enough money coming in. I had 30 plus properties that I had, and each one were making me a minimum of $250 a month in passive income. And with that passive income, I realized, my goodness, well, if you think about it, $250 a month at one property, that's $3,000 a year. That's passive income. 10 properties, $2,500 a month in passive income, $30,000 a year without working. 20 properties is $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year. And I realized, if I just scale my business, if I just buy more properties and have the business run itself so I don't do any work, I could literally quit my job. So that's what I did. I just kept buying property after property. And then here's the fun part too. When you have 40 plus hours of your life back, not working for somebody else, you have the ability to do whatever you want. I love serving people and I love building businesses. Two things I just love to do. And so what I decided to do was I was telling friends and coworkers and everybody, friends from church and everything, and telling them I'm quitting my job. They said, well, how are you doing it? And I said, well, I invested in real estate. It works for me. I sleep at night and it makes me money. The second question, Pili, it came all the time. Will you show me? I'm like, I guess I could show you. I like doing it. And then when I was teaching friends and family members and coworkers one-on-one, I realized I loved it. It was so much fun because I see them change their life. And then I realized, man, I want to get this word out to more people. So fast forward, started a podcast, started a YouTube channel, started coaching and everything. Fast forward now, even more. I've been doing this for 7 or 8 years now, coaching people, and created a conference, which is called the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference that you came and just you and Jason, you guys knocked out of the park. I mean, it was so awesome having you guys share and teach and be there and really help develop this community. So that's what I do is I'm an investor. And then at the same time, I'm an educator. I love serving people and helping them to become awesome investors. In fact, last thing I'll quickly say is I have so many students now literally quitting their job faster than me. It took me about 8 years before I had enough properties to quit my job. My students are doing it in 2 and 3 years. I'm just blown away. Now, that's not every single student, but I have many students that are doing it because just like you and I, Pili, we already done this and we're giving everybody the shortcuts, or not necessarily the shortcut, but the right way to do it. Jump over this hurdle, jump over this landmine and all that sort of stuff. And so it's just a blessing now that you and I, we just get to serve people now.
And I think that is what draws me to you and to your platform and to Rubicon is that you have such and everyone around us, let's say us, has this servant leadership mentality. We want to give the glorious blessings that have already been bestowed on us. We want to let people know that this exists. This actually exists. Whether or not you want to quit your job, whether or not you have to quit your job, whether or not you have a job, you can learn how to do this. So let's dig a little deeper because it's been a year since we've talked. Rubicon is around the corner once again, and I'm super excited to join you again in Phoenix. But what's changed? What's changed between last year and this year? And then I want to talk about what else have you not shared with your audience, with the world about how we can move forward into the future together? But before that, let's talk about what's changed in this last year.
Yeah, what's changed in this last year? So when I first started it, I just had a vision of serving my audience and then calling all my friends like you and lots of other people. There's 28 of us speakers last year. And let's bring our audience together and create a community that just so happens we have an event where we all come together, a 3-day event where we're all helping and serving each other and connecting each other. It's a no sales pitch conference. Like a lot of real estate conferences, you'll see a big booth in the back and from the stage, it's all hype. They'll say, now run to the back and go. It's normally $100,000, but it's $1,000 today. It's not about that. It's all about building a community. So that when I first started Rubicon last year, it was all about having a vision of what we can do. And then once it came to fruition, we had Rubicon last year. It was such a blessing to see that we developed a community and we have so many giving people that want to come and speak as experts because, bringing their audience. Now, fast forward to now, what's changed now is so much more excitement for giving. That's what I'm blessed about. I literally have 43, like Pili, you and Jason are two of 43 other expert investors that are giving. They're not being paid to come teach. They're not going to be selling from the stage. They're saying, I have an audience too. Let me go ahead and bring my audience. And the excitement from my friends, and obviously Pili, you and Jason are my friends, as well as the other speakers. What's great is we lead the vision of Rubicon as a giving conference, and that translates into the rest of the attendees. Last year, we definitely started that. We got that ball rolling. This year, I'm seeing so many more people, even the attendees, they're literally asking me, how can I volunteer? How can I serve? How can I help in the conference? Because I see the vision of what you're doing and I want to be a part of it. So fast forward to now. And I want to pause for a quick second and share that honestly, I really want you to invest in real estate. My new goal in my life, my first goal was to quit my job in 10 years. And I did that, accomplished that at 37. Now my new goal is to help 1 million people invest in real estate. So 2 things I would ask from you. Number 1, if you get anything out of this episode, please share it with somebody else. Just say, hey, check out Dustin and Master Passive Income. He really wants to help 1 million people to invest in real estate. That's number 1. Number 2, I want to get you to invest in real estate. Get my real estate investing course absolutely for free. Text the word rental, RENTAL, to 33777. Rental to 33777. I'll literally give you my course, show you how to find an area of the country to invest, how to build the business first. I always talk about that, and how to find the right properties, how to make sure you're getting experts to do the work for you, and scale the business to where you're making $250 or more in passive income. Scale it to quit your job. I'll literally get to you, or go to masterpassiveincome.com/free course. Obviously, it'll be in the description, but I really, really want you to invest in real estate, because the more that actual, normal, everyday people own real estate that are good landlords, the better everybody's life gets. 43 more, actually, we have one more just came on. 43 speakers. It's a 3-day event. Last year was 2 days. Now it's 3 days. And on top of that, it's all giving. There's going to be more community time, more networking time, more parties, more stuff to ability to be around the awesome speakers like Pili. And one last thing I'll say is, if you go to a lot of conferences, or if you've been to conferences, you'll get people that are awesome like Pili and Jason. That are different. They're that same caliber, but a different mindset. Like Pili, Jason, myself, and all the other speakers, we're givers. We want to give, so we're there to give. A lot of other people who are at our caliber, who don't have that same giving mentality, they'll fly in and then jump on their breakout session or their keynote and then fly right back out. They don't hang out. They don't stay there because it's not necessarily what they want to do. But what we do is we're there to grow ourselves. I grew a ton from last year's conference in my real estate investing, and we're there to help everybody out. So there's so much more excitement and so many more awesome things coming with Rubicon 23.
That's why I love Rubicon, because when we were there last year, we didn't know what to expect. We were like, it's in Phoenix. Dustin's a cool guy. The people that are there, amazing. I mean, you have Annie Dickerson, who is a dear friend of mine. I feel like I've grown up with her in the real estate arena. And just being in that type of energy, that type of growth situation. And I firmly believe if you're on the fence about going, wherever you are in your real estate career, this is for you. This is for you, because no matter who you are, you have something to learn and you have something to teach. So if you happen to be gracing the stage, great. I feel blessed that I get to be on your stage. I get to teach people. I get to let people know what my knowledge is, but I am also there to learn. I'm also there to figure out what it is that I don't know. And the types of rooms you had last year, the types of the knowledge base that you brought together, I learned so much. So let's now step away from Rubicon and let's talk about real estate in general. What is something about either today's market or what you're currently doing in your real estate journey that could benefit my listeners?
Yeah, no, what's interesting is I started investing back in 2006, and this was before the crash. And when I say interesting, right now what I'm seeing is we're almost like getting into like the 2008, where it was like getting to the bubbles getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then obviously the crash happened. Now I'm not saying there's going to be a crash now, but what I am saying, we had such a huge run up in the last 2 years, like from 2020 to 2022, we've had such a run up in Phoenix alone. I know that the market from 2020 into 2022, or the end of 2022, it rose, the prices of homes rose 50%. That's crazy, in my opinion. It's absolutely crazy. And then now, from the top of in 2022, which was like September-ish, it's already dropped down 14. Last night, this was in January, late December, generally January when I heard this. It's probably like 18% now. But it's dropping very fast because interest rates are going higher. You have prices going lower. Now, they're going to go even faster, low, in my opinion, lower faster, because sellers are so nostalgic. Oh my goodness, 6 months ago, I could have got this much for. A year, I could have got this much for. So they hold on. But as soon as the floodgates open, and as soon as all these, I'm also seeing lots of layoffs, lots of big companies like Google laying off 10,000, Facebook laying off 10,000. Like these big companies
Google,
are laying off lots of people.
Twitter, you name it.
Everybody. And so this is going to be a tidal wave of lack of money coming through the system. So what I'm seeing now, not necessarily saying it's going to be 2008 all over again, but what I'm seeing is for me as an investor, for all of us, for you listening to this now, I want you to realize that this is going to be the best time ever in our lifetime to invest in real estate. Now, a lot of people ask me, well, Dustin, but interest rates are so high. How is that going to make it easier on us or better for us? Well, here's the thing. We're investors. Interest rates, you know this, Pili, 100%, but I got to share it to all the audience. We don't pay the interest. We don't pay the mortgage on our property. Like, I don't have to get a job to pay my mortgage on these rental properties. My tenants pay them. At the same time, I buy them for less than they are the market value. So I capture equity. Even though the interest rates are higher, it doesn't matter because I'm still making money in passive income and my tenants are paying that. They're getting a good property for rent. And on top of that, here's what's great. When you invest in any type of investing, obviously multifamily is a little different, but when you're looking at the market in general, because the market in the residential will drop before the multifamily, you'll see it quickly drop. But with that, the multifamily will change as well. But a lot of people ask me, well, Dustin, with interest rates rising, doesn't it make it harder for us? Well, what's interesting is the people that really get affected by interest rates are homeowners that want to buy and live in a home. Well, they are literally priced out of the market now. When you had a 3% interest rate, you could a $2,000 a month mortgage could potentially buy you a $450,000 house. Now with a 7%, it's only $250,000. So they're priced out of the market. So prices come down. Then multifamily will eventually catch up in prices coming down, which is going to be even better for us to buy it even lower to make more money in cash flow. So I'm seeing things are happening and we just need to be smart investors where we buy good deals. Even in 2021, 22, when everything was going up, we bought good deals that made us money every single month, just like you were buying properties. I was seeing you watching. I was like, oh man, this is so awesome, seeing how many properties you guys you're developing to buying to. If you have a good investor that you're working with, like Pili and Jason, keep working with them. They are going to show you the right way to absolutely invest. So you're going to be protected, insulated. In fact, in 2008, where everybody was going bankrupt, because I was investing for cash flow, because I knew my business, I made money if the market went up, down, or sideways. If you hang with Jason and Pili, 100%, they're going to make sure that you're making money all through this. If there is a crash or a downturn, you'll be protected because you know how to do it right.
That's the key, right? Knowing. So regardless, because a lot of investors I'll talk to, especially newer investors, they're like, well, I don't have the money, I don't have the information, I don't have, okay. Let's stop being excusable, folks. Let's take responsibility. Look at your finances, number one. So I'm going to give you some real, actionable advice. Look at your finances, number one. Number two, get educated. If you don't know how to do it, congratulations, you're in the right place. You've taken the first step. You're listening to this podcast. Boom. You have entered real estate education. Then find those mentors, those people that you trust to let you know Rubicon is a great place to start, where to go from there. Because then you need to pick what type of real estate that you're going to do and immerse yourself into it. This is the time to learn if you don't know. And now back to what you were saying about interest rates going higher, whatever it is, whatever the excuse is, it's never going to be a perfect market. I remember when we entered into wholesaling and flipping in 2013, I didn't think it was a perfect market. I thought I looked at the numbers, and people that were investing in 2010 were like, oh my goodness, the market's so much higher now, blah, 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 and this is not the best time to get in. It was 2013. 2016, when we get into large multifamily, I remember thinking like some of the numbers then were risky. Like we took down our first 94 unit, and then it took us almost a year to get the next one because we were being a little bit risk adverse. There were properties that we were offering on that we could have offered so much more on, but we thought it was risky. We thought it was too expensive. And then the market kept on rising. So no matter what the numbers tell you, no matter what the talking heads are telling you, you need to claim responsibility for, number one, your own finances, and then number two, your risk tolerance, and number three, getting it done. There's always going to be an excuse not to do it right now. The market's going to go up. The market's going to go down. It's going to go sideways. Whatever it happens to the market, know that you'll be able to weather it if you have the right knowledge and the right team around you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It 100%. And here's a great saying that everybody needs to realize and remember. It's you don't wait to buy real estate. You buy real estate and wait. Because over time, like the properties I bought in 2006, I still own them, and I'm making almost triple what in passive income what I made when I first bought it. And when I make a minimum of $250 a month in passive income from every property, over time, rents just keep going up. And so you buy real estate and then wait, because over time it's going to work out. But also, to add to what you're just saying, I love I guess maybe it's a proverb, but when is the best time to plant a tree? Well, it was 20 years ago. The next best time is literally today. You do not want to be thinking 20 years from now, man, I was listening to Pili's awesome podcast and I wanted to invest, but I just put it off. And 20 years later, you're thinking, I wish I would have done it back then. No, you want to be the opposite of that. You want to be thinking, I was listening to Pili and Jason all the time. I took action 20 years ago and look at my life now. And so if you didn't get started in 2013, if I didn't get started in 2006, even when 2006, it was hard for me to buy. I actually, from California where I lived, I started investing in Ohio because I couldn't afford California prices back then and the rents were so low. I made it work. I figured out a way to make it work. And if you're hanging around Jason and Pili long enough, you come to RubeCon, like I said, I literally have 43 awesome, literally expert real estate investors, just like Pili and myself, there to just give and there to teach and help you become an even better real estate investor. I go to learn as well. And so with that, if you realize that right now is the best time to plant a tree, right now is the best time to invest. Now, there are bad investments, but if you buy the right investment, you find the right deal that's going to be just like Jason and Pili talk about, and as well as myself, if we show you the right way to do it and you find a good deal like that, jump on it and you will be blessed in the end, because over time, like I said, you buy real estate and then wait. So I'm 100% on board with you on that.
I love this, and I want to dig into what you said about planting the tree now. And I'm really big on actionable steps. So Dustin, before I let you go, I want you to dig into planting a tree now. How can our audience plant their tree right now, get started, or continue on? Because there's so many people that I talk to these days who are just like, oh, I'm just gonna sit on my cash. I'm gonna wait for things. And I'm just like, okay, I have a lot of people who waited in 2016 and they wish they didn't. I have a lot of people who waited in 2013 and they wish they didn't. I wish I'd known what I knew now 20 years ago, like you said, but I didn't. But now you have people that you have surrounded yourself, and I'm talking to our audience, you've surrounded yourself by incredible people who know what they're talking about in real estate, and or you have a real estate portfolio. So what's keeping you from growing it? So again, I'm going to pose the question to you before I keep on going, because I'll keep on talking. How can our audience, how can everyone listening right now plant their seed now?
And I like the way you ask the question in planting the seed, because you don't just plant a tree. It starts from a seed. And what I love to do is share with my students and my audience and everybody I talk to is that I usually get the question, should I save for investing? Should I start learning now? Or should I start building a business? Or should they have all these ors? And I'm saying, meaning like this or this or this. And I say, those are not dependent on the other. Like, you don't have to finish one in order to get to the other. And so why don't we start saving now? Why don't we start educating ourselves now? Why don't we start working towards everything that our goals are? Because it's planting a seed, and as that seed grows and gets watered and gets fertilized and gets bigger, you're putting effort in. Eventually, once that seed gets into a tree, you got to keep working at it. But at the same time, eventually, let's say that tree gets to be big enough where it's literally just, it doesn't need any more work because it's so well grounded and rooted down that it's now grabbing water from underneath the soil. It's now getting its own life from the sun and everything. So it's on its own growing. Now with that, here's my big suggestion. I absolutely suggest you should 100% be learning how the process, let's say you want to be multifamily, if you want to be residential like I do, if you want to do Airbnbs, whatever it might be, you need to start really learning from experts like Jason and Pili. If you come to RubeCon, you're going to find so many experts that they're just giving. They want to help. But you need to learn. And so imagine this. Imagine you're surfing. So surfing, you have to catch a wave in order to surf. Well, if you start paddling after the wave passes you, because you need to get that momentum to catch that wave, if you start paddling after the wave passes you, you're not going to catch it. So imagine if you don't even learn, if you don't start saving now, if you don't start getting around awesome people that can help you and be a part there with you, you're going to start paddling after the wave passes. Because honestly, my opinion, I think in the next 1, 2, and 3 years are going to be some of the best times ever to invest in real estate. So what we want to do now, plant that seed now, start watering it, start fertilizing, start building it up, just like you start paddling before this wave of awesome real estate investing comes. Start paddling now so that you can get that momentum to catch that wave, and then you ride that wave all the way in. Back in 2008, I was barely ready. Like, I just barely started paddling, and I caught that wave, and I bought a ton of properties. It was a blessing. But I'm also thinking it might happen again. I was, back in 2008, I thought it might happen again. Let me be even more ready if and when it happens. My belief is now it's almost time. So plant that seed now. Start educating yourself. Start saving money. Get out of debt. Stop going worse into debt. If you need to cut expenses, do that. But then listen to Jason Pili's podcast. I have my podcast as well. Master Passive Income Podcast. It's usually me, a solo show, just like Jason and Pili. We love just serving. So we're giving. And so I'm actually putting this show on my podcast as well, because Jason and Pili and myself, we just love to give. And so if you start learning now, saving money, cutting expenses, even go to your boss and say, hey, boss, I believe that because of how much I serve this company and how much well I do, I deserve a raise because of what I do. Long story short, we got to get more money and invest that money. Plant that seed today, start watering, start fertilizing, start building it up. Once it starts and gets sprouted, it's going to eventually be a huge tree like Jason and Pili and myself. I'm blessed now where I literally don't have to do anything with my real estate. It just keeps growing on its own. And so if you keep moving now, plant that seed now, in 20 years, you're going to look back and say, I am so blessed that I planted that tree 20 years ago. Now it's on its own and it does everything for me, just like Jason and Pili and myself.
I love that. And I love that you said, I am so blessed. Let's come from that, as we close this podcast, let's come from that thought process. I am so blessed. So we are blessed to be here today. We are blessed to be able to share this podcast with you. What is one other way that you could bless our audience by, I know another way that you could bless our audience. Could you let everyone here know a little bit more about RubeCon, how they can find you, and how they can get a ticket to RubeCon?
Absolutely.
And when is it?
So it's May 4th through the 6th here in Phoenix. It's going to be beautiful. And we're also Cinco de Mayo, and we're going to be in Phoenix. We're at a fiesta. It's going to be terrific. And it's going to be in downtown Phoenix in the Sheraton. It's an amazing venue. I'm super blessed to be a part of this whole entire thing. And if you use the promo code Jason or the promo code Pili, whichever one you like more, I won't tell them who. But if you go to rubcon.com, REWB, just, abbreviation, Real Estate Wealth Builders, rubcon.com. So REWBCON.com. You'll find, just literally click on buy tickets, use the promo code out of any, there's different packages, like let's say basic, pro, or VIP, where you actually get to hang around the speakers. Use that promo code, either Jason or Pili, and you will be able to get 10% off. So absolutely, we want to be there with you to show you, and you will be blown away at the level of giving and service that people just like, if you love Jason and Pili, you're going to love all these other people that are there. And also, I would love, if anybody wants to get started investing how I invest, which is residential 4 units and below, I have a free course. I love giving it out. I absolutely give it out. So if you text the word rental, RENTAL, rental to 33777. Rental to 33777. I'll literally give it to you, show you how to find an area of the country, anywhere to invest, how to build the business and scale the business, quit your job. You can even go to masterpassiveincome.com/free course. Masterpassiveincome.com/free course. I also have my podcast that Jason and Pili are coming on as well. I'm putting you guys on there as well. And funny enough, I actually like Instagram. So if you want to reach out to me on Instagram, I get DMs all the time. The Dustin Heiner. So THE Dustin Heiner. And I'm not that arrogant, Pili. It's the is the only handle I could come up with. So THE Dustin Heiner. Reach out to me on there. I'd love to help you out. That's the whole goal. In fact, Jason and Pili, just like myself, we realize that the more people that we serve in this life, the better our lives gets and the better everybody's life gets. And the last thing I'll share is that in life, what we want to do, we want to develop these 4 different legacies for our lives. Number 1, we want a money legacy. Enough money to be able to buy whatever we want, not worry about bills. That's a money legacy. But that then leads into a time legacy. We want to have time to do whatever we want, 40 plus hours of our life back. So money leads into time. Time then leads into relationships. Because you have more time, you can develop that with your kids, your spouse, your family, your church, your service, whatever. So you have money leads into time. Time leads into relationships. Then you get to the place where you can be, where like Jason, Pili, and myself, the service legacy. When you have all 4 leading up to where you're now fulfilled, money, time, relationships, and service, you then have unlocked, honestly, a whole new sense of gratitude and vision and purpose, because now my goal is now to help 1 million people to invest in real estate and hopefully become financially independent. And Rubicon, giving out the courses and podcasts, just like Jason and Pili, that's our way of serving. And honestly, we probably get so much more blessed by our serving than you receiving, just like, getting all this stuff for free. So definitely come and be a part of Rubicon. We'd love to see you there, love to hang out with you, and definitely keep listening to Jason and Pili's podcast. It's terrific. You can do it, and we're there to help you.
Well, thank you so much, Dustin. I cannot wait to see you in Phoenix. And for everyone that's listening today, remember, plant the seed now. You don't want to think 20 years from now that you didn't plant that seed that you could have. The best time to do it is right now. And know that you are blessed. You have so much knowledge right now that all you need to do is take that next step, whether it is getting more knowledge of real estate, whether it is getting more business knowledge, whether it is figuring out your own finances. Figure out your next step and simply take it. So this is Pili for Multifamily Live. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have an excellent, blessed day filled with aloha, peace, and so much love. Aloha.
Aloha. And that is it for today. Go ahead and get my free real estate investing course. Text the word rental to 33777. RENTAL to 33777. You can also join my Real Estate Wealth Builders group coaching. Get all my courses. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next show. See ya.